Well, I couldn't be more excited to welcome my next guest. He's a Ryder Cup winner, a World Golf Hall of Famer, a three-time major champion, and the only European golfer in 120 years to retain the claret jug. But more important than that, the last time he was here, he presented the host with a brand new set of golf clubs. Let's hope he's not turning up empty-handed tonight. Would you please welcome Pádraig Harrington? Clubs are in the car, are they?
Yeah, I've left them out there.
Yeah, you've left them out there, yeah. Look, it's the start of a new golf season. I know you are a man who is always looking forward, always trying to see what the future's going to be. How does it feel to be standing just out there and me listing your past glories?
I'm happy about that. I don't have a problem. But I'm an optimistic person. I do have hopes and dreams going forward. It's what drives me. My caddy always reminds me at the start of the year that I am running out of years, that I've got to get my act together.
Ronan?
But he also says to me at times, you know, he says, look, you kind of earned the right to go out there and do all the practice and do all the dreaming and still try and beat those young guys. So, yeah, it keeps me young and it keeps me going, I suppose. You know, I get up every day and I think I'm going to find the secret.
Well, I mean, you found the secret. You found the secret many, many times. I mean, looking back, what is the one highlight? Because I'm sure there's been many.
I've been quite lucky that I won all the way up. Gradually, I won at different amateur level, bigger events, then pro level, and all the way through. I remember winning with Paul McGinley in '97, the World Cup, and it was just huge at the time. So, yeah, look, the three majors are going to be the highlights. I got three different majors. My first one is obviously always going to be the most exciting, but I messed up the 72nd hole, so kind of left something wanting. The second one was just perfect. So it was very satisfying. It's amazing because it went perfect and I played great. It was exactly how you'd write it up as a 15-year-old kid. To hit all the shots in the last group. It was satisfying and it kind of validated the first one. My third one, I had some issues during the week. I wasn't playing so well, and I just happened to get in at the right time and grab it. And I can guarantee you, the one that you don't not that I didn't deserve it, but the one that's you played a little bit ugly and you get in there and take it at the right time, that was the most enjoyable, for sure.
So Rory and Shane are kind of the next, batch coming through there. Would it be fair to say you paved the way for them and made it a bit easier for them?
I certainly helped, there's no doubt. You got to see your peers going out there and doing it, and it helps you believe. Certainly, for me, I played a lot of golf with a New Zealander called Michael Campbell. He won the US Open, and I went, I play with him. I can beat him on my day. I'm as good as him. Him winning then made it very real for me. I think that's very important in sport. That if you can see other people doing it, it makes it that much more realistic. So yeah, look, I was the first Irish guy to do it, but there was other Europeans, and obviously there was a flood of guys straight away. And the problem that we have now in golf is everybody's like, oh, why don't we have more? But like, we just had a golden era. Maybe it was cyclical and it will happen again in 20 years or 30 years. At the moment, we don't have a lot of guys out on tour, and maybe if one gets out, then 2, 3, 4, and they'll start making their own way in golf.
When you hear people bigging up Rory and bigging up Shane,
it's hard to big up Rory. He's right there.
Well, yeah. Well, no, but I mean, celebrating their success. Is there a little bit of you that is kind of, hey, look over here, 3-time major winner, just over here? I mean,
no. I'm really happy with what I did, and it'd be easy to sit here and say, like, the money's gone astronomical in golf. I had a great run. I got the Tiger money. This is a different level. So I'm not sitting here going, oh, I wish I had this money. And it's the same with performance. It's always going to move on to new times. There's always going to be new people. I can go to a tournament, and I see this happening, and I always say to somebody who wins a tournament, he says, you get very busy when you win a major. Like, everybody wants your time. And, guys get overwhelmed and they mightn't sign an autograph. And I say, you walk by that autograph, when you're 80, somebody's going to ask you to sign that autograph, and you're going to be so happy that they don't ignore you. And I see that, like, I could go by and they might ask the latest internet kid, who's famous, to sign an autograph, and they might ignore me. And I go, I've done a lot more than he's done in golf, but I understand that's how it is.
But it is that thing, Danny, isn't it? Where careers they ebb and flow, and that idea of taking it whenever you get it.
Them internet kids. I love it. You know what I mean? It's true. It's golf's such a It's so hard golf as well.
play?
No, I'm useless, mate. I've got a lot of friends that do, and they're quite good, and I'm a hindrance to them. Do you know what I mean? So you've got that natural feel for it and stuff, which I just ain't got it. And it's such a beautiful sport if you've got something about you. You know what I mean?
Well, there's two. I see this happen a lot. So a lot of successful people try and play golf, and if they don't have that success, they give up very quickly because they're frustrated. But I don't know about yours. Like, it saves the lives of so many actors, musicians, because they have time. And you've got to be rich in time to play golf. You've got to have
footballers that have retired and stuff like that. They
people
really
who are
get involved,
retired, who they end up, if they don't have something to really, and golf becomes a complete obsession because you can be good at it one day and you can be better than the best pro for one moment in time, and then you can be hopeless, and it becomes such an obsession that it's a great obsession for a lot of people, and just really occupies them. So there's many a recovering alcoholic that golf has, saved their life.
It's helped to save them. I mean, actors tend to get better with age. Golfers tend not to get better with age. It's kind of just a thing, isn't it? But I honestly, I think, is there another major?
I believe.
Do you believe there is?
I create my own reality, and I believe it. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter what the bookmakers think. It doesn't matter what the stats guy think. I've got to think like that because that's what I enjoy. I get out there and practice because I have this belief. But there seems to be a sweet spot where you're gaining experience and you have a certain amount of innocence. That's the right point. Then, believe it or not, the more experience and you've lost the innocence, and I get the fear plenty of times when I'm playing. So I'm trying to manage that at different stages, and I can get through it. So it just seems to happen in golf, and thankfully, I'm sure it happens to younger people, and they don't ever have a career. They get in their own way at 20 years of age or 25 years of age. I'd started getting in my own way. Pretty much all professional golfers are burnt out by 20 years in the game. It's just the nature of the game. But you know what? I'm going to be the first to make a comeback.
Okay, well, look, we'll all be there. We'll all be there.
Love that.
That's good. Really good. Well, look, when that fourth major comes round, we actually have an outfit here that we'd like you to wear for the final round of that major. This is Danny modelling this from a few years back. I mean, we think that could probably... What do you reckon of those shorts, Padraig, for the final round?
I couldn't get them shorts on now, I know that.
That was from a movie, The Business, was it? Back in 2005?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? That time flies, isn't it, eh? Look at me there, look.
It's a good look, Padraig. What do you think?
Untouched, I was then, let's see.
If I thought it would work, I would be out in that outfit tomorrow.
You could pull that off all day long.
I know that your dad was a huge, huge influence on your life and your golf career. You're still working for the cancer charity in his memory. How much does that mean to you?
Yeah, I obviously a patron of esophageal cancer Ireland, and this time of the year they have their charity run. Not run, they have a 2-day lollipop day where you buy a lollipop for €2 and donate. And it's all about raising awareness. Esophageal cancer it really was a bad cancer 20 years ago, but like a lot of cancers, things have improved an unbelievable amount. So if you catch it early, like all cancers, it's very treatable. And with esophageal cancer, my dad had acid heartburn the whole of his life, like forever sending us, go down and get a packet of antacids, and just like any Irishman, just dealing with it, not really dealing with it. So we would have seen that, and he had the symptoms, but we weren't aware of it. So if you've acid heartburn, if persistent cough, persistent hiccups, struggling swallowing, these are all symptoms that if pain in your upper chest or your throat, these are things you need to go and have checked out. And if you get it checked out, it's very treatable. Don't leave it too long. And it's the same with all cancers. Get it early. And we're Irish people and Irish men particularly are, we put it on the long finger. Sure, we'll do it again. We'll do it 6 months. We'll do it in a year. But it's one of those cancers. It needs to be caught early. So esophageal cancer raised great money. And they put it into that, we're a small country. They put it into research, but really they put a lot of money into getting the message out there so people are aware of it. And if you're aware of it, you can catch it, and it's not going to it's not going to ruin your life or change your life. You're going to get through it.
Do you think you would have got to where you got to in your career without your dad?
Oh, no, not a chance. I'm the youngest of 5 boys, so huge amount of sport is circumstantial. You know, the fact that I always thought I was going to be a Gaelic footballer, the fact that the golf course was 15 minutes, they built the guards, even my dad was a guard, he built the golf course, you know, they convinced the Garda Social Club to build a golf course 15 minutes from my home, it's my playground, and I got good at it. Sports is very circumstantial. Like, you know, if the hockey club is next to you, you'll end up playing hockey. You know, it's the one that's the closest, it's the one that's the easiest, the one that's the most friendly, that your brother or your sister or your parents are in. That's the way you kind of get into sport, and then you get good. I'm a great believer you got to enjoy your sport first, and then you'll get good at it. Whereas sometimes people put a lot of pressure on kids to get good at the sport, thinking that if they get good at it, that they'll love it. But the minute that kid plateaus, because every kid will plateau at all sports, if they don't truly love it, they'll just go to something else. Yeah. Whereas if they actually love the sport, they'll put up with the 6 months of where it looks like they're going backwards or it's not working out. They'll get through. So the love, and I know I've said this, you know, plenty of times in golf. If you're bringing your kid to golf, bring him to somewhere that's very relaxed. You know, that the kid can play in the bunker, hit a couple of shots, and always take them home before they're tired. Take them home. Don't keep them there too long. Take them home quickly so they want to come back. And on the way home, do something that you wouldn't normally do. Yeah. You know, bring them for a Coca-Cola or go for an ice cream. Bring them into the clubhouse where they can feel like a big kid. And it's moments with their dad or their mum that they'll remember for life. So what will happen is they'll actually go back to the golf course in 50, 60 years' time, thinking that they like golf, but they're actually remembering the time that they spent 15 minutes alone with the one parent or two parents where it was just them.
Well, it's funny, you know, you're talking about the caravans and remembering that, and I know that everybody needs a mentor. They need somebody in their corner, like Harold Pinter, whenever you were coming up through. I know that was...
Yeah, we need someone to put their arm around you. Again, going back to the masculinity thing, which is, you know, there's an old school masculinity, you know, and my dad as well, who I love very much, and it's still in my life, and I'm very grateful for that. But a man who doesn't show his feelings, you know, I remember, you know, there was a moment when I weren't allowed to hold his hand anymore crossing the road and stuff, and it was just because of the way he was brought up in the 50s. So, you know, it's just getting that masculinity thing right, where it's you can still be a masculine man and show affection and cuddle your kids. You know, you've got to get that balance right, you know what I mean? Because, you know, it's important to be masculine and, you know, and having mentors and father figures and people showing young boys how to be men, you know what I mean? And being decent men as well, you know, because there's not many about at the moment for some reason.
The Ryder Cup this year, I've got to ask you about that. Some people misbehaved themselves over there, weren't really a good example of masculinity or humanity or anything else. What was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I didn't even go. I didn't go because I knew it would be like that. I said, I couldn't be putting up with that. It has been creeping into the game, and both sides, you know, the US guys will say they get it when they come over. We seem to get a bit more, you know, when we're there. New York was above and beyond, there's no doubt about it. But what the big learning experience for that is, okay, we don't want it in the game, nobody wants it in the game, but the US have figured out that negative support is actually not good for them. The US players didn't play well because of the negative support against the Europeans, because most of them are friends now. When I played in '99, I had to be introduced to US players. I didn't know them. Now these guys play together all the time. So when they're hearing their friends getting abuse, you know, they're not feeling good about it, and they end up not playing so well. So I think there would be a huge effort. Look, we don't need you doing this. We don't want you shouting abuse at the other players. Just support us. Give us all the support. Give us cheers. And sometimes in golf it can be like, we want a really loud crowd. We don't get this in sport, in golf, where you have a team environment. We really want a partisan crowd getting so much into it. But that's cheering one team and then just being polite to the other team. It's not where nobody's asking them, you know, it's polite and let's go mad for your own team. Yeah. And that's what the players want, because the players are craving the team environment. They're craving being, the one time in their life, it's like being a football player. It's like being out in the stadium and the cheers on the first tee, the excitement is like nothing else you get in golf.
Well, look, we know that when it comes to Ireland, when it comes to Adair Manor, there's going to be a hell of a roar on that first tee on that very first morning. I'm sure you're going to be there. We're all going to be watching.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely be there for that one for sure. I think it will be a great Ryder Cup. It's unbelievable venue. I think coming back to Ireland, the K Club was very successful. I think it will be equally successful. I do think it's not going to be an easy one for us. I think the US team have got to turn up. They're going to turn up with a better, tougher team. I think they're going to be better prepared for this one. You know, there's rumours Tiger might take the captaincy. Yeah, I think it's going to be a hard one to win for Europe. You know, just because of the ebbs and flows in golf, they're going to be better. You know, Europe. We certainly peaked at the last one. That was unbelievable. Can we have a better team next time? We'll have to see if there's some young guys coming up.
Well, look, maybe some young guys, or maybe 4-time major winner Pádraig Harrington on the first tee. Padraig, look, could well be you. You could be there. The support, OCF Lollipop Day, go to lollipopday.ie, and OCF volunteers will be selling lollipops nationwide tomorrow. All details on the website. One more time, Pádraig Harrington.